This is the Top Crypto Podcast, Episode 3. This is the Top Crypto Podcast, where cryptocurrency founders share with our users the path that they've taken to get to where they are today.
Each episode features in-depth project details, personal interactions with a core team member, behind-the-scenes info, and sometimes even blockbuster announcements.
Our show aims to shed light on lesser-known cryptocurrency projects to provide our listeners the need-to-know information about buying their tokens.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Tyler, and here's today's episode. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Top Crypto Podcast. This is Tyler here with my co-host Jerry, and our guest for the day is Chen, who is the CEO of the cryptocurrency project Olympus Labs. Chen graduated magna cum laude from Yale University with a degree in economics. He gained expertise in the financial industry by working at Morgan Stanley, PIMCO, and McKinsey. Kai started his entrepreneurial journey in high school by launching an e-commerce business on eBay and managing his own investment portfolio. Recognizing the opportunities within the blockchain space, he founded Olympus Labs, which is a decentralized protocol for creating cryptocurrency-based financial products. The protocol integrates product creators, wallets and applications, exchanges, and price oracles. Anybody can use this protocol to create financial products based on cryptocurrencies such as funds, indices, lendings, futures, and options. These products can then be offered to investors through the Olympus app and other third-party wallets and applications. By creating a market filled with a wealth of products, Olympus aims to satisfy the wide range of investment needs and build a deeper and more resilient cryptocurrency market. Kai, thank you very much for coming on the show today, man. We're very happy to have you here.
Hey guys, it's happy to be on this show as well.
Kai, why don't you just tell us a little bit more about your background and how you came up with the idea for Olympus Labs?
Yeah, sure. So a little bit about myself. So I was originally born in China. I don't know if this is going way too far back, in time, but
it's your time.
Moved to New York when I was in first grade, and then grew up there until kind of middle school when I moved to Pittsburgh. And so that's where I spent all the way until high school. Have been working in finance since I was 15 when I started investing on my own. 15.
Wow.
To be honest, I kind of got scammed. To be honest, I was looking up get rich quick schemes. And
sounds about right.
So lost a little bit of money in at first, but then I eventually paid off. Introduced me to this investment space. And so while it started off, having me being tricked by one of these like scamsters online, I actually opened up my my eyes to this new space of investing. So eventually long term paid off. Having worked in traditional finance, trading options and these different products, when I got into Bitcoin and when I got into crypto, I realized that there was this huge empty space. Essentially, the only thing you can do is huddle, right? Pretty much you buy, hold, and pray that things are okay.
Sounds about right.
Right, you're screwed. There's nothing you can do. Pretty much just hopefully you can put it away. Come back in a couple of years, and hopefully the market's back up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can do better. I think the market needs more tools and products for investors. To meet their investment needs in order for it's my opinion, so our opinion here at Olympus Labs, that in order for crypto to become a market that's in the tens of trillions of dollars, which we believe that it will, it needs these different products for the market to be mature. So that's why we started Olympus.
Okay. So when did you first think of this concept? Was it last year?
This wasn't when you were 15, was it?
No, it was. It wasn't when I was 15. Otherwise, I would have created Bitcoin. But
But did you?
Couldn't tell if I did. So this was back in 2017. When kind of essentially all the ICO craze and when Ethereum, and ERC20 tokens really started to take off, and crypto became more than just Bitcoin. That's when when I had this idea of, okay, we need these better tools. And then it was actually during DEF CON in Mexico City that this vision really all came together. We were talking to a ton of folks during DEF CON, and then remember there was the second night, I believe, of DEF CON, and around I think 2 or 3 a.m., me and my co-founder, we were kind of sitting up and we couldn't fall asleep, and then eventually we're like, you know what? I think this is how everything can work. So we had these ideas.
So you have it like down to the date and the time when you thought of it.
Yeah, because it was like super late, and we were like discussing. We're like, okay, we've been thinking about this, but this seems to be things that we're missing that didn't work out. But then that first day when we were talking to a lot of the different projects that were there, we kind of a lot of these question marks that we had, we got kind of these initial answers as to how these different pieces would fit together. And at that point, it was just like it came to us, and then we literally cranked out the business plan and the first draft white paper. I think around like 6 or 7 a.m. we had something. And we're like, all right, this is like what we're gonna do.
That's pretty awesome. So you said that you have another co-founder. Is it just you two as co-founders? And then so let's say your team, how did you formulate your team and find people that also believed in your vision and were capable of carrying out what you planned on doing?
Yeah, so initially there were 3 of us. So me and 2 technical co-founders. And one of them being really, really hardcore in dev, and the other one more of a dev plus community management plus BD. So that was the core. We had known each other for about a year before that, and we were all working in this space. So one of my co-founders, he had already he was a CTO of another blockchain company that was doing how to apply blockchain in the charity space. And then the other co-founder, he was originally working in AI, but then he thought that blockchain was this next up and coming thing. He was actually trying to explore the intersection between AI and blockchain, and then eventually got completely sucked over. So that's how the initial team came together, and then from there we kind of reach out to our network, to our friends, and then our friends have referrals. So it really was more of a community and more of a word of mouth as opposed to formal recruiting. And then
that's what we're kind of seeing, is that people kind of form their communities, and then people want to join your project if they're interested in it, like they have the same passion, and it seems like that's how a lot of these teams are being formed.
Yeah, I think the other reason is because the talent pool for blockchain and smart contracts just isn't that big yet, where you can just pull.
We were just talking about that.
Exactly. So essentially, you have to go from your network, because otherwise, these guys are in such high demand that they wouldn't. Why would they work for you if they have their buddies that they can work with, right? So
yeah, it seems like blockchain is the hot topic right now, but not everyone is really qualified to step into the space, and it seems like teams are kind of having problems with that. They're getting a lot of quantity, but the quality might not be there for applicants.
I think it's funny. Yeah. We actually just touched on this the previous podcast that we spoke with, and he said the same exact issue, that there's so many needs, and they're basically tapping out all of their contacts that they know. They're reaching out to everybody saying, we need these devs, and nobody is there's not enough people there yet. It's interesting.
Yeah, and so we've actually started to do some training.
Yeah, smart.
Wow.
Yeah. So, for example, on May 2nd, we ran a smart contract dev workshop in Singapore, trying to see if they can find some talent. And then actually on the 25th of this month, we're kicking off our first global blockchain hackathon. So we're hosting it in Beijing. I think around 200 people have signed up. So hopefully we can maybe find some talent during that event as well, because otherwise it's eventually I think more devs will come into this space as they see kind of the how high the salaries are. but training and on education takes time.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you got to figure out a way to fill that gap before you have enough of a talent pool for you to pull from.
Yeah. I actually kind of want to take over if you don't mind, Jerry. I'd like to touch a little bit on funding. Did you guys go through an ICO? Was it private funds?
So it was kind of interesting the way we did it. So originally we had planned for it to be in 3 phases. So a private round, a pre-sale round, and kind of a public round.
Mm-hmm.
We during our private round, actually, I think about 9 funds, crypto funds and VCs came in, and so they actually filled out a majority of the total allocation. And then we did a pre-sale round that was about, I think, a couple hundred people, and then during that time, the price of Ether rose from around 400 to, I think, like 1,200, and so we actually decided
that happened like overnight.
Yeah, exactly, like literally a couple of weeks. And so we actually reduced our cap from 65k ETH to 45k ETH, and then eventually down to 40 ETH as price of Ether continued to rise. And so we actually decided not to have a public round because we hit that 40k during our pre-sale.
So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, what is that? What is that total amount that you guys did raise, dollar-wise?
Yeah, dollar-wise. So I think depending on like when you use.
Let's reference then, not now.
Then, I think it was around 40 million.
Okay.
Okay.
And you said it did sell out prior to or you guys capped it because of that rise in Ether price.
Yeah. I think according to CoinGecko, I think we were the 3rd largest ICO of 2018, even though we didn't really have like a public ICO.
Okay,
wow.
Awesome. That's impressive. In terms of token distribution, what did you guys allot? What percentage of your guys available in circulation tokens did you guys allot to those the ICO and those public and private rounds? I guess the private rounds.
Yeah. So total circulating is about 39 million tokens.
Okay.
And then the team has 20%, and then the rest is for kind of community efforts. And in terms of the breakdown between the private and the pre-sale, I think it's about 70 to 80% the private funds, okay. And then around I think 20-30% in the pre-sale.
Okay, awesome. I did read something, and correct me if I'm mistaken here, but are you guys attempting to form some type of decentralized exchange?
So we are not actually.
Okay.
Well, yeah, this is a tricky question because we are actually integrating, decentralized exchanges.
Okay.
So we've already integrated Kyber. We're now working on integrating, Looprin, AirSwap, Bancor, etc. And so, we believe in the future of decentralized exchanges. We're betting
Sure.
our future on it as well. And so we're really, we will not be providing the decentralized exchange service ourselves, but because we're integrating it to some of our users, it might seem like we are an exchange because you can buy, sell, exchange within our application, but in the back end it's powered by these actual DEXs.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I noticed. I think Binance is trying to work on something in terms of a decentralized exchange. So you'll have to see if you can get them involved as well.
Yeah, I mean we're a big happy family here, so we believe in the ethos of collaboration. I think that's blockchain. That's the Ethereum community, and so for us, the more integration, the better. We kind of serve at this protocol, this infrastructure, and so we want to connect. As many exchanges, so we can have as much liquidity as possible, as many product creators as possible, as many oracles, so that we can have a fair, pricing marketplace, and then third-party integrations for applications as well. So, our vision is our protocol be connected to any number of wallets, so that their users can get access to our the products are created without having to download our app.
Oh,
so
wow.
We want to be this protocol level. We're actually open sourcing our app and putting it into an SDK, so that our goal is you can create your own the app in about 10 minutes. So
Wow.
you can literally have an Olympus app that has a wallet function, that has crypto exchange, that has all the financial products. You can do it in about 10 minutes.
So that could be like a one-stop shop almost.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting. I also read something, and correct me here as well, but I do apologize, but cross-currency loans, I believe it's something that you guys are trying to accomplish.
Yes, so that's something that we've started to work on. So this is where cross-chain asset exchanges like Looprin are super critical because they are working on cross-chain digital asset compatibility, for example, between Ethereum, between Quantum, Neo, and other public chains. And so through them, we can then support these underlying tokens. And then once we have the underlying tokens supported, then we can build products on top, including cross asset loans.
Okay, that makes much more sense. Very good at explaining that. I'm going to go ahead and let Jerry, if you want to touch on some platform questions.
Yeah. So for the platform itself, do you have a beta version or a working product? And if not, when do you plan on having that up and running?
Yeah, so we've actually launched on Ethereum mainnet about a couple of weeks ago. So going back to the idea of this being a community effort and us really being tied to the Ethereum community. So this project started during DevCon, and we actually launched during AdCon in Toronto.
Okay.
So essentially, about half a year passed, and we had the idea was conceived during the first Ethereum event, and then it was launched during the second event.
So we'll just look for Ethereum event for when you're going to be launching new stuff.
I think that'd be a good idea, actually.
Okay.
So our mobile application is live. It's live for Android, and now we are finalizing it for iOS. So hopefully, assuming no big issues with the App Store, which actually there typically always happens to be issues with the App Store review, but we can put on iOS version in the next few weeks. If not in the App Store, then at least a link for you to download on our website.
Okay. And then, so what does your fee structure look like on your platform? How will that be charged, or is it like Ethereum and
do you guys charge fees to utilize your?
Yes, so there is a fee, but it's only the fees only related to products that are created based on the Olympus protocol. And so, for example, when you're using our mobile application and you are trying to send and receive tokens, or if you're trying to exchange tokens, we do not charge a fee. You're only paying the regular kind of Ethereum kind of gas fee. But when you're trying to buy, let's say, an index or a lending product, or a future option or any of our funds, then there is a fee associated with that. Currently, we've set the fee at 0.025% if you use MOT. So MOTs are a native token, and then if you prefer to use Ether to pay that fee, then it's 1%. So essentially, there's a 75% discount if you use our token versus if you use Ethereum.
Yeah, and I also saw I saw a short video on your on the app that you already released, and it showed having it almost looked like an ETF of two different assets in there, and I assume that there's going to be different financial products you can use on the platform. So, are you going to have some sort of a ranking system on this financial product is doing well, so that people can kind of get an idea of what they should use on the platform, just like a regular investor?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're doing, and that it's really important, is that we're setting the standard, right? So whether it's with the protocol or whether it's with our mobile application, we want to bring professionalism to the crypto space in terms of investing. And so we are actually putting together an entire data system to bring this information to the investor. So a big part of blockchain is transparency, and so we believe that for investors, they need to know what they're buying or what they're investing into before they do it. And so, we will be adding things like, how many people have invested, what's the total funds invested in this, in this fund.
Okay, great.
It's price, performance since inception until now, etc. So
Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for, because I mean, regular investors, they might just come on and pick whatever, but if you actually have statistics on that, then it gives them a better idea of what they should invest in and different things like that.
Yeah, so we, our stance has always been, we want to bring information to the investors, while not playing referee ourselves. And so
Sure.
anything that's, objective, such as like how has it performed, how's it doing, how many people have invested, all of that information we will show. In terms of like, is it a good or bad fund? Like we will not comment, because we're not kind of, saying that really.
That might get you in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So on your app that you recently launched, do you have any statistics on the amount of users that maybe have downloaded it or are actually using it?
Yeah, so we don't, because we haven't launched on the App Store. It's we don't have exact numbers, but based on the number of people who have joined our Telegram asking about or raising questions around the mobile application, such as how do I pass KYC, how do I input a wallet. I think the number's about a few thousand, but because we don't have these statistics from an App Store, that's a guesstimate.
Okay. So what about competitors? Who do you feel is a competitor in this space? Like who's trying to do what you're doing? Anybody?
This question is very interesting because it depends on how you look at it. So if you look at a specific product type, let's say indices or lending, then you see a lot of competitors, right, kind of within that vertical. ETH Lend, right, for lending, MakerDAO for lending, Economy, for funds, and et cetera, et cetera. But we kind of want to play at a layer, kind of like below them. So we want to serve as the infrastructure kind of for future kind of players who want to create lending products, who want to be the future economies. And so our idea is we don't want to compete in the product space. So we're not saying we are, we create the best indices or we are in the fund space. We want to support you to create your own fund. So I think that's the main difference. So actually, for example, we are building a web portal for anyone to create their own financial product and launch it. And essentially, so for example, if you guys, wanted to create like a fund or an index or whatever, you guys can use that web portal, and without having to write a single line of code, you can launch your own, what we're calling your IPO, initial product offering. So kind of like an ICO or a project, you can do an IPO for your financial products.
Kai, I assure you that index would not do well. That would not do well.
Especially if you're putting out statistics on it.
You might be surprised.
How about marketing? What do you have anything in place to try and get your names out there to attract people?
Yeah, it seems almost like you guys are you still in building mode, so to speak? I mean, you guys are creating the web platform, the web portal. You're still releasing to the App Store. Does marketing begin yet? Is that not? I mean, if I was running some type of business like that, I'm not sure if I would be focusing on marketing right now. But you guys have a system in place that you're preparing to market?
Yeah. So for one, we're always building. It never stops. There's always like more things that we can do, always more improvements that we can do. And then in terms of marketing, we've actually started our marketing campaign. So we've engaged this company called Coin Usage. So they helped launch CryptoKitties and CoinMarketCap. And so they put together a 3-month-long kind of launching campaign. This started about a couple of weeks back, with our launch, and so now we're starting to see some of that kind of start to pay off. So we just got a Forbes article a couple of days ago, and then they are reaching out to kind of other media and press. And so this is all leading up to our big launch near the end of June. And so in the next few weeks, we'll start to see more and more kind of marketing and press pickup as we kind of get closer to that date.
Okay, awesome.
And then I'm going to let Tyler finish up the interview with a section we call the Fast Four.
Yeah, we always wrap up every interview with 4 quick questions here. So number 1, this is actually more for your users. If they were to want to purchase your token, where could they go to do that right now?
Yeah, so you can actually do it right within our app. As I mentioned, awesome. We've integrated with these dexes. And then you can also buy at OK Exchange, Bbox, or on Kuiper Network.
Okay, great. Okay. Number 2, on average, how many hours of sleep are you getting a night? You getting the full 8?
Yeah. So it really depends on the situation. So if I'm staying put somewhere, I actually get pretty well rested, maybe 6 hours a day. But if I'm traveling, the number goes down to about 0 for like that week or for that 3 to 5 days.
That is not healthy. That is not healthy at all. All right, number 3. What is one piece of software that your team uses that you guys really can't function without? I know you mentioned a VPN.
Yeah. So one is definitely VPN, but otherwise Telegram. Okay. I think our team is global, especially our community management team, and so Telegram it's the best way for all of us to connect.
Awesome. And then our last question, it's kind of probing. It always is. Are there any exciting, upcoming announcements that you could share with our listeners? I know you mentioned something about June.
Yeah. So, June is going to be our big launch. May was our soft launch with the mobile application. And then June is going to be when we'll be launching the entire thing. The web portals, the SDKs to integrate with wallets. The ability to our first demo lending product as well. So a lot of big things coming up in June. So
awesome.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to it, and we'll make sure to go ahead and put it on our blog whenever that does get published. So all of our viewers and listeners can read into that and learn more about it.
Awesome. Well, this has been a pleasure, guys. And going back to this point about marketing, this is. Thank you guys so much for reaching out and for doing this and for spreading the word.
Absolutely. We think we think that maybe newer and lesser exposed projects deserve just as much marketing. So we like to provide that to everybody. So thank you very much for coming on the show, Kai, and I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors and get some sleep.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning into our podcast today. To hear more from Kai regarding his blockchain project, Olympus Labs. If you like this episode, please feel free to give whatever channel that you're tuning in on some loving by giving us a like, a follow, or if you're feeling generous, maybe even a review. On our next episode, we bring Jameson Uniquave on, who is the CEO of the blockchain company Blue Protocol, which sets out to protect users from fraud and spam, which is shown to be rampant within the blockchain space. If you have any questions, comments, or sponsorship inquiries, please feel free to reach out to us at contact@topcryptopodcast.io or go to our YouTube channel where we're actively engaging with our listeners. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.